So is it possible to multiply your income by 10? And we hear about this quite a lot that, look, you need to create multiple streams of income to become wealthy. It's true, but where do you start and which streams are going to have the biggest impact? Don't just follow what other people are doing. Follow what is going to give you the most energy to spend time on these things. To be going and working and doing deals and fitting out houses and finding people to rent houses does not interest me, it does not inspire me. Own businesses, I've scaled businesses to 7 figures, 8-figure businesses. I've worked with clients that have scaled 9-figure businesses. So why would I want to go and do things like property? Revenue streams are like this. Imagine that you've got lots of pipes. You need to be building pipelines. Make sure that these pipelines are all scaling, and when that water does start to flow, your pipes can handle it. The main thing is, though, understand your goals. If it is higher cash flow, then having one source of income, you need to keep working on that one pipeline and building it up and getting more cash out of it. But this is the point. Where do you start now? So in this podcast, we're going to talk about the difficulty of growth, the difficulty of stagnation, and how a lot of people aren't recognizing that they can earn 10 times their income by just doing what is already working for them and what's working out there for others. So I'm going to discuss that today. So is it possible to multiply your income by 10? Now, my journey along the income journey, there's different revenues, different ways of creating income. And we hear about this quite a lot that, look, you need to create multiple streams of income to become wealthy. It's true, but where do you start and which streams are going to have the biggest impact? For me, along my journey, I found that a lot of the income streams that I'd be working on, I'd get frustrated, I'd get irritated that I wasn't seeing the results for them. However, there were some of the biggest learnings that I had along the way is that you've always got to be in it to win it. It's a bit like the lottery. You don't win the national lottery unless you have a ticket. You've got to be in it to win it. Now, that's their sales pitch. And of course, I don't even know how much the national lottery costs now. I remember when it first came out, it was £1 a ticket. I don't even know. See people watching this now maybe laughing to say, look, no, it's $10 a ticket, it's $20, scratch cards and things. The thing for me is that I want certainty. I want certainty that my investment is eventually going to pay off. Investing in something like a lottery ticket is down to chance that it may come through, but investing in something like your own education, not just money but time and money as well, keep investing it, because your own education will be with you no matter where you go. I've lived in the UK, Australia, I've traveled around the world, and no matter where you go, that education is there. Because you build those foundations, those building blocks, education keeps on building. You got to make sure you're learning the right education. So always start with the end in mind first. What is your direction of travel? What is your goals? I'm assuming that you're watching this YouTube channel and following me, Dr. Lewis Hayden, if you're subscribed to the podcast and the YouTube, is because you want to increase your income. What sort of things do you need to do that? Revenue streams, as we spoke about, not only just opening those revenue streams up, but think about how do you really expand them. So revenue streams are like this. Imagine that you've got lots of pipes. My kids are into Super Mario at the moment. Imagine all these green pipes, and these green pipes are bringing in trickles of water. Now, for that water to come through, some days there might be a lot of water, some days there might not be much water. But first of all, if you're going to get water to start to travel towards you, you need these pipes being built. Now, some days these pipes may be really dry, but you've still got to build the pipe. You need to be building pipelines. Now, here's how to 10 times the income that you currently have is that you've got to be working on these pipelines all the time, building them all the time. And look, just because the pipe is there doesn't mean you'll always bring income in, but working on them all the time means that you, in your diary, if you look at your time, of how you're allocating your time right now, there's 24 hours in the day. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the king or whether you're the president, no matter who you are, you've got 24 hours in the day. So what you need to be thinking about is how are you using your time to make sure that these pipelines are all scaling, and when that water does start to flow, your pipes can handle it. So what pipelines are you going to build? What sort of things are you specializing in? What sort of things could you do? What interests you? Most of all, don't just follow what other people are doing. Follow what is going to give you the most energy to spend time on these things. So for example, people tell me, Lewis, you need to get into real estate and invest all your money into property and houses, and then there's commercial property, and then there's residential property, and then there's all sorts. Yeah, I will in time. But right now, the pipelines that I want to build are the things that excite me. To be Going and working and doing deals and fitting out houses and finding people to rent houses does not interest me, does not inspire me. I own businesses, I've scaled businesses into 7 figures, 8-figure businesses. And so for anybody, that's like 10 million plus businesses. I've worked with clients that have scaled 9-figure businesses. So why would I want to go and do things like property? Okay, it's a good investment of the money. It's the income that you get from not just the revenue that would come from like rent or etc., but also the capital gain. So it's a good long-term strategy, isn't it? And it's solid, it's safe. But this is the point. Where do you start? Where do you start now? For somebody who's in a 9 till 5 job or 8 till 4 job, whatever it may be, how do you start taking your income and start to multiply it? You've got those 24 hours in the day. 8 to 10 hours of it is stuck in your workplace. Do not quit your day job because that is your pipeline that is working. Go right to the start of this video. I said do more of what is working. So within those 10 hours of spending your day in your day job or 8 hours, your 40-hour week, what is working most? What thing are you doing that really impacts the most for that firm? Emphasize that. That tends to be your speciality. That is what you're good at. What else could you do? Maybe there's other people out there that don't have the information that you do, and you could start a YouTube channel. YouTube channel may not pay much until you get tens of thousands of subscribers or whatever. But what if you do a YouTube channel? Then just one person out there that you help says, look, you could really assist me right now. Would you mind doing a bit of mentoring? Sure, it's £100 an hour or something. What you've just done is you've used your skills to then help another person. There's a second pipeline. That pipeline, remember what we said, you're forming those Super Mario pipes at the moment. It doesn't mean it's going to start flooding cash flow through, but as soon as you start getting a few drips of cash flow, what's stopping you from really exploding that pipeline? I bet if you start to think about other pipelines as well, you've got your 24 hours in the day. Let's say 6 or 7 hours of that is sleeping, 2 or 3 hours of that is eating, there's some family time in there. There's still a good 5 hours that you can do things. So it's your decision. Do you sit down and watch Netflix? Or do you start to think about what sort of things can I do to really scale up my income? What other pipelines could I put into place here? There's so many opportunities you could do. Just look on like Amazon or eBay. There's so many things that you could do. There's a whole list. I'm not going to list them out now. The point of this is think about what you're good at. Think about where your energy is. What excites you? What other pipelines could you do with your energy? Have a good think about it. Make a list. And then look at your hours in the day and go, where are you going to dedicate your time in the day or week? Maybe you want to spread it out over a week and think about, where do I need to start putting an hour in just to start building a small little pipeline? Because if the pipe isn't there, then the water won't come through. The cash flow will not come from somewhere else into your pocket. So if you want to 10 times your income, this also has a compounding effect as well. As you get recognized for doing the one thing, and then you start going into marketing and you get a few sales and they start referring you as well, then guess what? You start to look at new opportunities. So that one pipeline has babies. It has small pipelines that come through, and you never know what that small pipeline might do, where it might lead you, who it might network you with, who it might connect you with. The main thing is, though, understand your goals. If it is higher cash flow, then having one source of income, you need to keep working on that one pipeline and building it up and getting more cash out of it. But eventually, is that just an earned cash flow? So you have to actually spend time for money? Or can you actually create pipelines that give you cash flow that make you money when you sleep? Again, it all depends on what you want to do. But one thing for sure, your time and where you invest it is going to depend on where your wealth ends up. Have a good think about it. If you're going to 10 times your income, just start building the right pipelines, putting the building blocks in place to get there. And they may not pay you off. Here's one of the biggest learnings that I've ever had as well. Instant gratification for it. Yeah, it's not going to work like this. People are not going to back you and go, hey, look, that's a great idea. Go and do that, and I'll support you every minute of the day. Like when you're in your workplace, it's a lonely journey. When you first start out doing this stuff, people will think you're nuts. They'll think you're crazy. And then eventually, guess what? What's the saying? People may be jealous of what you got, but they're not jealous of the hard work that you put in. So go and put the hard work in. Think about where your time is going, thinking about what sort of pipelines you want to build that would really excite you. And that's how you increase your cash flow. As this compounds, more opportunities will come. And remember, if you want more ideas on other pipelines that you can build, and ultimately, each one of these pipelines is going to need you to do one thing: be a great salesperson. So sales skills are essential. Keep learning and check out the other videos so you can make sure that you're on top of your game when these opportunities arise. Hope this really helps. Be great. Catch you on the next episode.